Recording in progress.
The meeting has started.
Great. Well, good morning. My name is President Gouldstovey. We are here at our BPU quarterly meeting. This is the third quarterly meeting of 2024. And could we get a public notice statement?
Good morning. Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers of broad circulation within the state.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call?
Commissioner Crystal DeLu.
Here.
Commissioner Abdu.
Here.
Commissioner Bange.
Here.
And President Gouldstovey.
Here. So welcome to our quarterly public meeting. In addition to these meetings, we also have many other public forums year-round in the form of stakeholder meetings and others. We're looking forward to hearing from the public today and at all of those meetings. Madam Secretary, when's our next public board meeting?
Our next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 25th. It'll be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue in Trenton and live stream via YouTube.
Thank you. So for today's meeting, we have a number of you did not register to speak. Unfortunately, you will not be able to speak. You needed to register to speak, but we do have the opportunity for you to listen and attend. If you would like to submit written comments, and we encourage you to do so, particularly if your comments are lengthy, please do that by October 18th. Send them to the board secretary's office. We just want to note that commenters should avoid speaking on matters that are contested before the board. Everyone is welcome to raise general policy issues for the board, but not any contested matters. So again, everyone is welcome to attend, but only pre-registered speakers have the ability to speak. We have not enabled the chat feature and cannot accommodate speaking for anyone who did not pre-register for this meeting. It is being live streamed on YouTube, and this is the same transparency practice that we maintain for our board agenda meetings. We're very interested in hearing from the public. That's what these opportunities are really focused on. So I'm going to reserve any remarks, but I want to open it up to any of my colleagues if you have opening remarks. Okay, well, then with that said, if we can go to our first speaker, I think Lauren is going to facilitate the speaking. So if you could go to our first speaker, that would be great.
Yes, our first registered speaker is Lisa Bonano. Lisa, you may now mute your mic to speak.
Hi, everyone. So my concern is that we're all having these sudden jumps in our electric service, and I have Atlantic Electric. So, and it's more than the percentage that was authorized by the BPU. My question for the board is, what exactly are you going to do to investigate the, for instance, I had a jump in charges from, I think it was 146 in June to 619 in July. We don't even keep our air conditioning on at night. We don't have a TV. We just basically charge our phones and computers, and we have an electric stove and occasionally run the dryer. A lot of times we hang out our clothes. So $619 in 1 month was unbelievable. And that was just me. Many other people have different, like huge charges in July in particular, and also in August. So number one, what are you guys going to do to investigate that change? And the other thing was, like, I did get the smart meter, and when I called, they said, okay, we didn't do a reading. Let's do it right now. And they did it right now. They're recalculating my charges, but why wouldn't they, if we have the smart meter, why wouldn't they just get a reading every month? That's another question I have. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. So every time we get a customer inquiry, we do, through our customer assistance division, we do, follow up on that and work with the utilities. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that we are getting your information. So I'm going to ask, Lauren, who has everyone's information that's on the speaking role, to make sure that we're collecting your information, and we will follow up with you through our customer service division. We understand that, a significant increase in a bill is a concern. It sounds like ACE has or is addressing it. And so we'll follow up with you directly and with the utility, to make sure that whatever it is being addressed. So thank you.
Okay, our next registered speaker is Robert D Dominico. Robert, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent, thank you. Well, my name is Robert D Dominico. I'm the founder and CEO of Cargo Fish LLC, a New Jersey-based startup developing a new utility system, not electricity or gas, not water or sewer, nor any communications such as the internet. I develop a utility system that can best perhaps be named as a containerized parcel distribution and transportation system. And I wanted to speak today to thank the members of the New Jersey BPU board for any part you may have had in the funding of support that I am now receiving from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority through the Commission for Science, Innovation, and Technology. I've been awarded a $75,000 Clean Tech Seed grant, with which I will accomplish a scope of work culminating in a demonstration, a public demonstration of this technology in May of 2025 at the New York City Fleet Show that will be held. The exact dates in May, I'll find out as planning moves along. It will be held at the Corona Flushing Meadows Park, as it is annually, in Queens, New York. And even if the board had nothing directly to do with this funding, certainly then, therefore, they did not have anything to do with casting aspersions or doubts, and obviously nobody intervened not to get this funding, and it's critical funding. And I'll need more either through customers, investors, or further grants by second or third quarter of next year. Well, I mean, I could dip further into my retirement savings. I've spent $90,000 of my own money so far, and about 14,000 hours development over more than 14 years. But I do appreciate, and I know that you will appreciate, the technology when it comes to be. You will be tasked with regulating and overseeing it, because it will be another utility. And just to shine a little more light, you could see it on my website, www.cargofish.com. Quite a description, not a lot of photos and videos. But this is a very miniaturized, enclosed rail car system, sort of a miniature subway network capable technology.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to ask you to wrap up your comments in a few seconds. Thank you.
Will do. So it will just result in about a 99.9% savings in the specific energy intensity of last mile distribution. So I'm sure you're going to love it. And I wanted to thank you all and just make sure you're aware of things happening. I'll give you another update next chance I get. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Our next registered speaker doesn't appear to be on, so I'm going to go to the next one. Mike Dean, you're the next speaker. I'm going to unmute your mic. You may now speak.
Good morning. Can we just remind folks that we do want folks to keep their comments brief. I know we haven't set a time limit per se, but we would ask that you keep your comments brief, and if you have something lengthy, to submit it in writing. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. I'll be brief. My name is Mike Dean, Monmouth County ratepayer, taxpayer, concerned citizen. I'm not paid by any group to speak today. I have no fossil fuel connections or anything like that. I speak on my own behalf. I want to talk about offshore wind generation and the undertaking the board has gone about with that. I know there's some open issues. I won't touch on those, but just from a general standpoint, I wanted to touch on some topics. First of all, it appears the board has, with this pursuit, has completely abandoned its core principles and mission, which are to provide safe, adequate, and reliable utility services at affordable rates. With this undertaking, the board has actually set out on a path to advance a political agenda and policy goals that don't provide benefits economically or environmentally to anybody here in New Jersey. Just by way of example, on the cost side, the last two contracts awarded in the third solicitation in January of this year were the highest contracted prices paid for electricity in the history of the state. And that was by far, by a vast magnitude. After inflation, ratepayers will now be on the hook for some $44 billion to pay to these industrial companies to build this electricity. And those electric generation sources could have been sourced, or can still be sourced reliably at a fraction of those costs. To go back to the first speaker's concerns about her electric rates, these aren't even in her electric rate yet, or any of our electric rates in New Jersey. When these kick in, it's going to be even worse. And when the further solicitations do, it's going to be compounded. So I ask you, as members of the board, to keep that in mind as you make future decisions. This is advancing political agendas is not the board's mission, and subsidizing new generation sources, and more importantly, industrializing our coastal communities and our ocean is not part of your commission. Is not part of your mission or your stated authority. So I ask sincerely to keep that in mind as you make future decisions. These rates are impactful on people. These aren't tax dollars. These are after tax dollars we all work hard to pay our bills, to buy clothes, to buy food, to do things for our families. And that's what you're tapping into to build these projects. And you're effectively advancing future cash flows for that. And as you know, I think
Hi,
you should.
sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to ask you to please wrap up your comments.
Okay. Electricity rates are regressive, so that is they inflict more relative harm as you go down the income scale. So there's no mechanisms. There's some subsidies to offset these higher costs, but they haven't been tested yet. I'll cut it there. I submitted a couple questions. I don't know if they're going to be addressed separately, but a lot of it goes to but I submitted two questions, and both of them go to transparency and sort of our ability to see what our representative, being the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel, has to say in these contracts, and that being not available to us. I've been through the Oprah process for the last couple of solicitations, and I can't get any of his analysis other than, thank you for allowing me to comment language, and these are the lowest bids, basically. So that just breeds additional mistrust in the process, I think, and I do sincerely ask the board to consider all these things as you go forward with these offshore wind contracts. It's not beneficial to anybody in the state. So thanks for the opportunity to comment.
Should I move on to the next one? The next registered speaker is J Weiss Bond. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. You may now unmute your mic to speak.
Yeah, thank you for you pronounced it right, so that's great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So thank you for the opportunity to comment today. My name is Jay Weiss Bond. I'm a public policy assistant at New Jersey LCV. We advocate for clean air, clean water, and equitable access to open space for all New Jerseyans, as well as address transition to a clean energy future. And we commend the BPU for the Residential Energy Assistance Payment Program, really to help low and moderate income households afford their energy bills. And we know that due to the volatile prices of natural gas and fossil fuels, that there will continue to be energy burdens for low to middle income households. And we should continue to support them as we transition to a just and equitable clean energy future. And that includes our support for a transition to 100% clean electricity future by 2035 for New Jersey. And not only will this help create good family-sustaining jobs in New Jersey and combat the worst effects of climate change, but it will also help us provide cost savings, predictability, and energy independence. And so we really look forward to continuing to advocate for a responsibly sited, responsibly developed offshore wind and transmission, including interconnection. And as we know, the BPU 2020 studies show that we have more than enough gas capacity to meet our needs through 2030, even on the coldest days of winter. And that's why we're glad the administration joined our efforts to ask FERC to relook into the fossil fuel regional energy access expansion program. And that recently a DC Circuit Court ruled an agreement that New Jersey has said that we do not need this gas and we should be able to make our own decisions about our energy future. So we look forward in the next months to reviewing a strong 2024 energy master plan to really provide a roadmap for our transition to a just and equitable clean energy future. And yeah, we just want to say thank you to the staff at the board for your work and all that you're doing. And thank you for the opportunity to comment today.
Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Carrie Conkling. Carrie, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Carrie.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and I will try to keep that under my 3 minutes as well. For the record, I'd like to object to the Atlantic Shores offshore wind project. I am a lifelong New Jersey resident.
Carrie, I want to make sure that we're not hearing comments on anything that might be contested. So I do want to ask you to pause to make sure that our council is aware. So we do want to make sure that we're not hearing testimony on anything that might be contested.
I'm not speaking for anyone but myself and my opinion that I believe that the BPU and the experience that we're seeing here recently in Chris Smith's experience of 44 years at Congress, he called all of this very poorly thought out. And the zero transparency that the public is seeing as a resident here, and the Oprah amendment of June 5th and the redacted plans is very unsettling to every resident, including myself and my family. I feel that if there was something positive for the ratepayer, the community, the ocean, and I'm not against alternative energy, I am against it in the ocean. Sulfur hexafluoride is being used inside of cables, and I have read all of the research studies. There are no research studies that come to 6,400 megawatts. Most quoted, most other infrastructures, they have been compared to 2,400 is the max that I have read. So I have an issue with the toxicity of not only the sulfur hexafluoride in preventing electrical fires, but the turbine blades being made from toxic fiberglass. I just feel that we're in a race to slow climate change in New Jersey, and we're trying to create 10 new problems here, solving one. We are the highest tax state in the country, and I don't see how excellent citizens will remain in the state to continue to pay tax when they feel betrayed by the commitment of agencies and their government regarding public health and safety and well-being. I love my state. Of course, our national security and our sonar and our marine life is paramount to me. I think it's outrageous that we have not been given more information, and we are in a race to do this. I think we should slow the process. We should do the research. We should study it, find alternatives, and return to our morals of all agencies, people who are appointed and or elected to. And thank you.
Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is James Playa. James, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam President and board members. I am also a Monmouth County resident, speaking as a taxpayer, ratepayer, and just an individual with no affiliations. My comments are regarding the offshore wind and proposed cable route to the Larrabee substation. The lack of transparency in this whole debacle is unconscionable. The proposed cable routes from the offshore wind to the Larrabee substation with 7,400 megawatts of power run 10 to 15 feet from schools, businesses, infrastructure, etc. My questions will be submitted in writing as well, but for the board, have you had discussions with the EPU regarding Superfund sites along the proposed routes? Do you admit or deny that there's environmental risks which are unknown? Has this project been properly vetted? Won't the cable routes disrupt the municipal infrastructure? How would you routinely maintain and keep in effect the cables? How deep and how far apart would the cables have to be? Isn't there a risk of arcing, as some engineers have opined? This arcing near natural gas lines could be catastrophic. Also, where were the other planned routes, and why were these routes redacted from the studies? Coming in along the proposed route would also be contradictory to the protected areas on the National Guard Training Center, where there's endangered piper plovers and plant life, amarats. How has this been taken into consideration? 14 years ago, when they attempted to build a wind turbine on the National Guard Training Center, the project was shut down because it was in contradiction of the New Jersey DEP Fish and Wildlife studies. So again, these questions will be submitted in writing, but the lack of transparency is really unconscionable. Thank you for allowing me to be heard.
Thank you.
President, if I could just respond very briefly here. Thank you, Mr. Playa. Please note that this the route that you're discussing is the subject of an open docket. There are materials available on our website, including an FAQ that address many of these things. I just also want to point out that permitting has not yet taken place for any of the hypothetical proposed routes that are included by some of the developers. So I urge you to track that proceeding, and the proper environmental and community benefit reviews will be undertaken at the appropriate time.
Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Ethan Winter. Ethan, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Ethan Winter. I'm the National Smart Solar Director for American Farmland Trust. I wanted to thank the BPU board for its continuing work on the agricultural dual use pilot program. American Farmland Trust is working with Rutgers University on a really innovative farmer technical assistance program to ensure that there's a pipeline of producers prepared to take advantage of agricultural dual use solar in New Jersey. And just wanted to highlight for the board that this is a nationally significant opportunity for New Jersey to lead. The policy was passed back in July of 21, and we really feel that time is of the essence to get the dual use program qualifications defined and out into the market. We have farmers who are interested, but we don't have the program yet. And another piece to this is a Department of Energy federal grant that is enabling research by the Rutgers Agrivoltaics program on 3 different test arrays across their agricultural campus sites. Putting all this together is really important. The market backdrop for the dual use program, the training, and the research. And we really feel, again, that time is of the essence for this program to get out into the open air. So we urge you to continue your work, and thank you for your efforts. If there's anything American Farmland Trust can do, if you have any questions about farmer interest in this program, we're happy to be a resource. We've been piloting trainings this summer with the Rutgers Extension, and the full training program will be happening in 2025. And our assumption was that we would have the pilot program in place at the time of the training so that these things could be synced up together. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ethan.
Our next registered speaker is Kelly Buchanan. Kelly, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this morning. My name is Kelly Buchanan, and I am a Policy and Strategy Manager for Lightstar Renewables. Lightstar develops, builds, and owns community solar projects with more than 1 gigawatt of projects completed or in development across the country. And our mission is to ensure solar is a benefit for all, including people, places, and the planet. We are focused on leading in community solar development that's built with ecological and agricultural needs at the forefront, which in our mind is a key next phase of the clean energy transition. Agrivoltaics, or dual use, is a key component of that vision, especially in New Jersey. This morning, I am also speaking on behalf of Blue Wave, which is another community solar developer with a strong presence in the agrivoltaics industry, who unfortunately could not be here today. Blue Wave and Lightstar respectfully urge the board to take action on the dual use pilot program rules and to end the 3-year delay in implementing this program, which has been required by statute. Most importantly, developers like us have New Jersey farmers that are willing and excited to participate in this program and are currently waiting on news of board action to move forward with their agricultural plans. The opportunities associated with the dual use pilot program are varied. New farmers will gain access to land, and current farmers, counting on their next generation to take over the farm, have told us that their children are now interested in staying on with the dual use pilot program and the opportunities it provides. Notably, research conducted as a result of this pilot program will lead the rest of the country and the development of the agrivoltaics industry at large. We applaud the work of the Rutgers researchers and AFT in particular for their involvement here thus far, and we view it as critical that this pilot program is appropriately designed. And we understand that such things take time and resources on the part of the board and on the part of others. However, developers with a vested interest in this program and many New Jersey farmers are ready to move forward. We urge the board to take action and to allow the dual use pilot program to move forward. And thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Kelly. We're working as quickly as we can here. Next speaker.
Our next registered speaker is Rebecca Peichel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Rebecca, you may now mute your mic to speak.
Hi, you did say that right. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Rebecca Peichel. I'm a sales director with Forefront Power. We are a community solar and behind the meter solar developer currently developing projects in anticipation of the same New Jersey dual use solar energy pilot program. We have developed partnerships with a large group of landowners and tenant farmers in New Jersey. We support the comments just made by American Farmland Trust and Lightstorm Blue Wave. We eagerly await this program. I'm compelled to comment today because of two primary concerns. And first, we began these partnerships with our landowners and farmers in anticipation of the program opening several years ago. After the legislation passed in 2021, we were hopeful rules would be issued within the 180-day prescribed window. One of my fellow stakeholders pointed out earlier, as of this week, we are now over 1,160 days past that deadline. And as you can imagine, our partners are growing concerned with program delays and the uncertainty that delay creates around the viability of their potential sites to make it into this program. Until rules are in place or the utilities are directed to do so, we cannot even submit these projects into the interconnection queue, creating significant risk as capacity availability changes. We appreciate the staff has recently been working toward the rulemaking, but this too is a slow process, and we would just encourage the board to take action on advancing these rules as soon as practicable. And second, all projects preparing for the dual use program are currently in a position where the economic viability and compensation mechanisms of the projects is unclear. The sites available in interconnection capacity are typically smaller sites. Many of the family farms in New Jersey are on smaller acreages, meaning these projects are typically under 5 megawatts. The developers with the most mature projects are traditionally community solar developers, and there is not on-site load at these locations sufficient for behind the meter offtake. Allowing these projects to serve as community solar provides the greatest benefits to everyone in the community and would enable these projects to get developed for our farmers, for our landowners in the ground as soon as possible, and providing the research that is critical for Rutgers to evaluate the viability of these projects to serve as dual use projects and in the state of New Jersey long term. So we support our colleagues' comments and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. I'll just reiterate, we are working as quickly as we can. We have a lot of priorities in this department, and we certainly understand the interest, but we are working as quickly as we can. Thanks.
Our next registered speaker is Robertretto. Robert, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Good morning.
Oh, great. Well, good morning. My name is Robertretto, and I oppose proposed wind farms and transmission power cables. As a retired officer in the U.S. Navy, I've spent years at sea and know well the fury of the ocean. Already, we have broken turbines washing up on beaches without hurricanes. On January 15th, 1961, a nor'easter took down an Air Force radar station named the Texas Tower off LBI, resulting in the death of 28 Air Force personnel standing duty aboard the structure. Ships' radar navigation are impaired by turbines. In times of poor visibility and high seas, a ship could easily run into a turbine. Think it won't happen? Take, for example, the case of the container ship, the Petra L. In April 2023, she was slashed by a spinning wind turbine blade in the North Sea and sustained a 5x3 meter gash in her starboard bow. These wind farms pose not only a risk to shipping, but also to aviation traffic. I oppose the wind farm project that plans to deliver massive megawatts of power through cables that run through our neighborhood. According to an article in the British journal Cancer published in 2016, there's a small increased risk of childhood leukemia to children living within 50 meters proximity to transmission lines carrying lesser amounts of power. The proposed cables may carry 6,400 or more megawatts, which is 10 times the power of the now closed Oyster Creek nuclear facility and may come as close as 10 or 15 meters from schools, homes, and businesses. The fact that these cables are planned to run near elementary schools and high schools, a high school, is ludicrous. I oppose the wind farm project based on its threat to marine and avian life. The New Jersey surf clams offshore are vulnerable to temperature changes, which could result if these wind turbines are built. I'm also concerned about something else. What is the effect of power cables, magnetic fields on railroad tracks that utilize electric relays to activate, deactivate railroad crossings? Already, without power cables running underneath the railroad tracks, the railroad crossing gates on Washington Boulevard and Seagirt often close and reopen without a train passing by. Has there been any evaluation of the effect of magnetic fields on crossing gate relays? I think the public deserves answers to these questions and more before proceeding with the harmful industrialization of our ocean. In conclusion, I oppose the wind farm offshore, and I really appreciate the opportunity to express my opinion. This is one of the great things about our country is that we have free speech. Thank you again.
Agreed. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, our next speaker doesn't appear to be on, so I'm going to move on to Tanja Lewitt. Tanja, you may now mute your mic to speak.
Thank you so very much. Can you hear me okay?
We can. Good morning.
Great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm actually a small business owner, technology owner in New Jersey. And just like everyone that has spoken, and I want to say this, we are really here because we love our great state and we want to work together to provide the best we can for all of the community. That said, I'm in the northwestern part of the state. And I have a very rural lot. So that means I cut the grass maybe once a year. What I've noticed, because I'm a JCP&L customer, and again, I do appreciate that we have power and it's challenges sometimes in these great wooded areas to keep that running. I appreciate that there is now a new, I'm going to say, charge on our bills. So what I mean by that is I noticed over the last 4 years that there's a $3 additional charge to my utility bill. And to this year, it changed to a $6 charge. So what I'm trying to communicate here is for a less than, I'm going to say 1 kW usage, we're paying a minimum of $6 plus some distribution and some taxes. So I'm concerned. My concern is as we're going to smart metering, and that is my field, and I do appreciate the accuracy, the convenience, the ability to be able to manage power at better levels. We need to do this. I'm concerned for the general community because we're getting charges beyond just our power use. So it says that I'm using $6 of consumption every month, but I'm using 0 kW. It's actually a flat line if you saw my utility bill. So I just wanted to raise that concern here. This is an open forum and I really do appreciate it. Again, concerning from the monitoring technology side that I do live with every day. Also looking to see how we can better use energy and understanding efficiency measures. Just concerned that the community is getting hit with charges where we're not using power.
Thank you. We can certainly have someone reach out to you about your bill. We'll have someone from our customer assistance division do that. I think Lauren has your information. So appreciate your comments.
Okay, our next registered speaker doesn't appear to be on. So the last speaker we have is Amber Perry. Amber, you may now mute your mic to speak.
Good morning, President Gulsadovi and commissioners. This is Amber Perry, Vice President of Regulatory Policy and Strategy for Atlantic City Electric. Thank you for the time to speak this morning in this forum, as Atlantic City Electric is taking every opportunity to reach our customers and get the facts out about high bill inquiries. We understand the challenges our customers face with high bills and appreciate this opportunity to address our customers' concerns today. My hope is that our customers who spoke here today or are listening will gain an understanding of the resources available to them to take control of their energy bills. Our goal is to provide resources and assistance to help them better understand their energy use and manage their costs. Record heat has been a significant factor in higher bills over the last 2 months. This summer, New Jersey experienced extreme temperatures with 2 multiple-week heat waves. Additionally, customers have seen bill increases due to rate adjustments over the past year. These increases are essential for maintaining and upgrading our grid for reliability, addressing storm damage, providing tools for better energy management, and preparing for future customer energy needs. We have received questions about smart meters and want to assure our customers that we have found no evidence linking functioning of the smart meters to higher bills. On the contrary, smart meters offer tools for monitoring usage, such as high bill alerts and detailed daily energy insights. Customers can view hourly usage updates if they also have an online My Account with Atlantic City Electric. We know our customers' bills are all unique, so we aim to ensure our customers are well informed. We have added resources to our customer team so that we can timely address your bill inquiries and any other questions for your unique situation. Our recently enhanced Atlantic City Electric website includes a dedicated bill support landing page with information on payment options, budget billing, and energy efficiency programs. The website can be accessed at atlanticcity.com/bill support. Additionally, customers can also use the Assistance Finder tool recently added to our website to explore local, state, and federal energy assistance to identify resources available to help pay their bills. We understand and hear our customers' concerns, and we are here to empower customers to manage their energy use with programs to support those who may be facing financial hardship. I want all customers to know that we are committed to supporting them during these challenging times. We encourage all customers to use our resources and reach out to us directly with any questions. Thank you again for the time today.
Thank you.
And that concludes our registered speakers.
Thanks, Lauren, for facilitating. Thank you for all of your comments. Again, the comment deadline for the quarterly submitting written comments is October 18th. So please submit your comments on October 18th to the Secretary's office if you have written comments. Our next board meeting is next week, September 25th. This will also be live streamed. And of course, you can follow us for updates on social media, as well as any other opportunities to engage in dialogue or public comment with the board or board staff. We have numerous opportunities coming up on some of the matters that were discussed today. So I would encourage you to take a look at social media or our website for more information. Any closing remarks from my colleagues?
Madam President, I would just like to thank all the speakers for joining us today and expressing their heartfelt opinions, either for or against things that we're doing. I know that we take these things very seriously, and we appreciate all their comments. And we look forward to working together with communities to make sure that all the problems they observe are solved and that our future goes forward in a productive and cost-effective way. So thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, well, if there are no other comments, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. We are adjourned.